Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. And we got ourselves a real mess here. I went and did some trading on a lawnmower. And I'm kind of in the middle of deciding whether to fix this thing up and sell it, or fix it up and use it and sell the John Deere because it's got a plastic rear end in it. I mean, I got a lot of options here. If I fix it up to sell it, let's just look at it first. Let's go out here before it gets too dark. It's raining out here. This is the hood that came on it. And it looks like something you'd see in an Iron Man movie. With no headlights in it. But anyway, this is a Troy bilt. I don't want to get my camera too wet. And it's got a 50-inch deck on it, which is in pretty good shape. I'm thinking that this thing here takes the same deck as the Cub Cadet, because that is a Cub Cadet deck. But all the mounts are correct. You know, it mounts like that right there. And then you got them pins right there. You pull them two pins, and I guess somehow you push it forward and lift it up out of that, and then release your belt from your clutch. And it's got an electric PTO clutch on the bottom of the motor. And this is one of those junk ass frickin' Kohlers. And may I put emphasis on junk. You know, and the proprietary. You know, a Kohler engine is nothing but a frickin' headache. You know, this is actually the first Kohler I've ever seen that didn't have a rod knock or a hole in the side of the block. Tecumseh was the same way. Every damn Tecumseh I ever seen had a hole in the side of the block. I patched one time and put it back together and it ran. It didn't rain very long. But anyway, it's got a 23 horsepower Kohler. Wait for it. Courage. Junk. Courage and the Command. Both of them. Junk. That's what was on that Craftsman mower that I had in Winston-Salem. And it had a rod knock in it. But it's got the cast iron front end, which is very impressive. And it's got a pretty hefty frame on it. I mean, it's a good looking frame. There's no rust on it. And if I take and power wash this, it'd probably clean up pretty nice. But if I restore it, I have to start from scratch and restore it. And I'm going to have to do my own wiring harness. See, that's where we're running into the problem. What am I willing to put in it, and what am I able to put in it? The John Deere and my son's four-wheeler pretty much wiped me out. So, right now I'm just trying to make a buck. You know, I thought about just taking the motor and see if it'll run. If I can get it to run, then I can clean it up, make it look new again, and set it aside. Take a couple pictures of it and sell it for about $400. Because the cheapest one I ever seen on there was $450. So if I get $300 out of it, I'd be happy. But I don't want to sell it to somebody if it don't run. So right now, that's what all this wiring's all about here. I was just testing the starter. I had to rebuild the starter because the starter, this part here was stuck all the way up here, and it was seized to the shaft. So I rebuilt that and cleaned it up. It looks like a new starter almost. And then I took the coils off and took them and bead blasted them in my bead blaster there. And cleaned them up, and then I took them over to the wire wheel and polished them, and then I took some Armor All or oil and oiled the plastic to make it look nice. And I cleaned the stands where it sets, and both of them do have fire. So now I need to well, I don't want to test the fuel pump yet because I want to try to get it to where it's actually starting with a switch. Now, I do have, this one here was the switch that I found laying on the deck. So apparently this is the right switch. It's just broke. So, now I got two pieces of trash I got to pick up. Where did I put that switch? I got all my wiring here that I'm probably going to have to end up using. I'm going to have to run the PTO on its separate wiring harness using the battery and a toggle switch, a lighted toggle switch, so that I don't forget to leave it on. Well, you're not going to forget to leave it on, so I guess it wouldn't matter, would it? Because if you forgot to turn it off, the deck would still be running. But it's not going to have no safety switches on it if I restore it for me. I would like to restore it for me. But we're talking a lot of work, man. A lot of work. The wiring harness, if it wasn't for the wiring harness, the cosmetics would be nothing for me. I can't find a wiring harness for this. You know, it's got, right here's the closest thing I found to almost being the right wiring harness. I don't know what this come out of, but it does have that kind of switch plug. But the one that is missing, let's see, we got, I don't know what these two are for. They're yellow and black, so I imagine they probably go to some kind of a safety switch. This is white, so this is probably going to a safety switch. Safety switch. This one I think goes to the PTO. Yep, I'm almost certain of it. So there's the PTO, and it's got safety switch bullshit in it. Another safety switch. Damn, everything's safety switches. I think there's really, if you want to get right down to the nitty gritty, there's really only 3 wires that runs your frickin' motor. 3. But because all them safety switches, you gotta have a wiring harness that's fucking space shuttle shit. I mean, why can't they just leave things simple so you can, 5 minutes it's done? No, they gotta put you through the ringer. They gotta make you feel crazy, and I mean, you got one on the seat. If you're getting off your tractor, if you're smart enough, first of all, if you're an idiot and you need safety switches, you don't need to be on no lawnmower. Just stay the hell off the damn thing. That's crazy. Yeah, if you gotta have all them safety switches on there, you shouldn't be running that mower because you're not smart enough. If you're not smart enough to not put your foot underneath the deck or leave it going when you jump off the seat, yeah, I mean, where the hell do you come up with these rules? But it kind of pushes really hard. I mean, I can't even get it to push. And this is, I think, actually this might be an automatic. Yeah, I believe this is an automatic, but it's a metal rear end. Let's lift up here and get my light, and let's look down in here and see what we got. I haven't really looked at this thing much. I've just been focusing on that motor. But everything looks to be in order. I don't see no belts. That one's got some cracks in it. This one right here has some cracks. It's got 2 belts on it that I can see. This thing's supposed to be magnetic, but anyway, it's got a belt down here, and then it's got a belt right here. So it's got a small belt that runs this pulley, that pulley, and this pulley. And then the one that goes to the motor is that one right there. And this is supposed to have one of them pulleys in it that slides up and down to change the ratio depending on where you have your lever. But because this is an automatic, I don't think that's the case. So this is another indication that it's an automatic because it's got a forward reverse instead of different settings. Then you have your deck and your brake. Clear up there, you gotta do a somersault to hit that brake. And then you got your, which is equivalent to a throttle or speed controller. Let me turn this light off. That thing uses batteries really good and really fast. But it's got a messed up seat on it, which ain't all that big a deal. Something don't look right here. Something sprung or something. Let's see, what the hell's that hitting on? It's not going down straight. Oh, I see, it's hitting that spring thing right there first. Alright. But everything looks good here. Good pressure washing, clean this thing up really nice. So I have to replace the switch, and then I'm going to have to wire my own harness. I'm hoping to utilize this one here. But I gotta get all the safety switches out. I'm taking them damn things out of there. The hell with them. They're worthless. Hell, you only got 4 color wires. You got purple, white, 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 yellow, black. I think purple goes to the stator. I'm not sure if it's red or if it's purple. The red might be the power to the switch, which I would imagine. So you got red in the switch, so that would be, I guess that would be power coming from the full-time side of the solenoid. That's where we would get our 12 volts. So I would imagine this probably goes to the hot post, full-time hot post on the solenoid. Alright, so we really only need, one to power the switch. Then we need, and I may just try to go with a different kind of switch. But I don't know. I want it to fit in that hole like it's supposed to. So Yeah, I'm gonna have to use this. I almost talked myself out of it, didn't I? So we need the carburetor solenoid wire, we need the kill switch wire, and we need the alternator wire. Now this alternator wire confuses the shit out of me because it goes through this regulator right here, or diode, or whatever you want to call that, or rectifier, I'm sorry, rectifier. And let's talk about that rectifier for just a minute. This rectifier, I have been watching videos on this tractor, or this motor, quite a bit for the last 2 days. And I noticed that there was one guy that replaced one, but his was on a 27 horsepower, I believe. And this thing kept going bad. And the way he fixed it was he took this and extended the wires and moved this to the frame. And I think it was on a 0 turn that he did that on. But I'm wondering if that would be an issue. So we've got a lot to deal with here, and not a lot of moolah to make it happen. So I need to decide what I'm going to do here. I love that it's got a 50-inch deck on it. This thing is a horse. It looks like it would be a horse. And in fact, I think it says horse on the frickin' fender. Let me get a look at that real quick. Let me get my flashlight wherever I put it. I done lost my flashlight. Now, where was I at when I... What do you think, guys? I lost my flashlight. I probably put it where I knew I would find it. You know how that goes. But we're just hanging out in the shop today. There it is. And built a fire over there a while ago. It's getting a little cold and rainy here the last couple of days. But I wanted to show you that. What's that say right there? Horse. Troy built horse. I wonder if it really is a horse. It appears to be a horse. But I'd be interested in getting this thing fixed up and restored for me. Maybe I'll make this a long journey here to get this one just set aside until I, come up with some more money and put a part in it here and a part there until I finally get it. But I don't really want to restore it until I know that motor's good. If that motor ain't no good, then I'm going to be hard pressed to find a motor of equal horsepower without costing a lot of money. So that motor is key to everything about this mower. If that motor ain't no good, I'm gonna scrap it. I'm gonna sell the deck and be done with it. So who knows? Maybe it'll turn into a trailer before it's over. You know me and lawnmower frame trailers. I've done built 3. And I got another frame right here for another one. So that one's prepared, ready for to build a trailer out of. So what I did, I just cut the damn original lever off, and I can take and move that in either or. And because it comes out the side, I can actually put a lever on it underneath the bed to move that back and forth for forward and reverse. Now the reason I did this is because this is where you'll run it if you're in a trailer mode. These two settings would be reverse and forward, so you could turn whatever you're going to attach. And I mean, I have this in my head, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I would like to modify this so that this pulley comes up, or somehow take this pulley off of it and put one of them love joint connectors on here, or love joint, connector. Put one of those on here. I'd have to machine a part to go on here that will accept a love joint, and cut this out right here nice and pretty. And when I build the bed on the trailer, I can make it a flat bed and put a hole and a plate on it, and then have it so that whatever attachment you make, whether it be a seed spreader or water sprayer or anything like that, you could actually use that rear end to power your attachments. So if you got a flatbed trailer, you can use it as a flatbed trailer, or you can have attachments that actually slides down in there. It's got the shaft that goes down in and goes to the love joint connector and marries that, and you pin it and you move on with your bad self. And then when you want to use it as a trailer, unpin it, slide it up off of there, and you got a trailer again. Put your plate back in place. But that's a dream that hasn't come true yet. That was what I originally was going to do to my dump trailer, but I turned it into a dump trailer and didn't really see a need for a seeder. It's just something I wanted to do just as a project. But that's what we're doing in the Bison workshop. This probably got a little too long. They had a sticker that wasn't a sticker no more. They had a hole punched in it, and I noticed that that must have came factory like that, because it had a zip tie and zip tied it to the oil dipstick tube. So it's just an information thing on engine air emissions and stuff and whatever. I don't even remember what it says. It has something to do with the air filter or something. So rather than it just sitting there flopping around, I just put some spray glue on the back of it and stuck her to the side of this. So you got a choke here. I don't know what these two are for. Those go down in there. They got rods on them that runs down through here. See, they're connected to a rod and they're going to these things right here. So I don't know what those are for. There's also a wire right there, which I have come to the conclusion that it's from a safety switch. And it looks like, I can't see it very well, it's blurry, but it looks to me like there might be 4 wires in it, 4 or 5. And they're all wrapped up, so what they cut, I don't know. The original reason for this thing to be ending up not being used was the fact that the wiring harness caught on fire. Because the guy that had this bought the deck off of my buddies, and then the wiring harness caught on fire. He was going to fix it, but his wife left him. Yeah, it's the West Virginia tale, guys. And the guy that sold him the deck ended up with all of it. So, but the wiring was gone. And they had a Briggs & Stratton wiring harness laying in there, just laying there. And for some reason I'm getting frog throat. Like I swallowed my liquid wrong or something. But that's where we're at on this bad boy. I think it would be a nice tractor. Let's put you over here. Like I said, it could be cleaned up and look nice. The ball is a little bent. But I ended up trading my cattleman gun for it. If I can't sell that, then I can sell something here. If anybody knows what these here two are for, let me know. Actually, I think it says right there. Parking brake, cruise control. What? Cruise control, yeah, okay. Am I reading that right? Well, I can't find my eyeballs. Where did I put my eyeballs? I lost my eyes, guys. Oh, there they are. Clear over here. I swear it's what it says. It says to press speed control pedal to desired speed, push cruise control lever down and release pedal. Press brake or speed control to release. Well, hell, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to fix this thing up, man. But I'm telling you, that deck is gonna be black. Because if this frame's gonna be white or red, that's not gonna be yellow. So yes, it'll get sprayed black. Everything's so damn expensive for this thing. But it's got a throttle here, and it's bent. It needs to be straightened up. I'll have that straight in no time. Then you got your choke. Then you got your PTO. And the meter looks like it's messed up. I think it needs to be repainted. Yeah, it needs to be repainted. Basically, I need to put a piece of tape over that part right there, the digital part, and then paint it black, flat black. But I want to wait and see what it does first. It's got that little plug on it. Now let's see if that harness had that plug on it too. It does not. But I do have, where did I see that? I do have this wire, pigtail, that I believe is the one for that. Nope, that ain't it. So I don't know what plug that goes to. Well, I guess we're going to be putting a digital or a different kind of gauge in here. So we'll put a voltage gauge in there. If I fix it up for myself, we'll just change that and put 3D print something to accept a one of them mini gauges. Or I can just get one of those hour meters that does RPMs and hours and put there. I got the switch, if I can find it. I don't know what I did with it. Probably on one of these harnesses. Nope, because right there's the other plug. It's not on that. And what did I just do with that white one? Switch ain't on that, so where the hell I put my switch? I tell you guys, man, I spend more time looking for things than I actually do doing things. It's got the key and everything in it. Yeah, I don't know what I've done with it, man. Oh, here it is. So I got the switch, 3 positions. You got your off, run, so say there. Yeah, stop. Alright, so stop, run, or no, headlights, run, and then start. So that's a 4-position switch. So you got 1, that's off, headlights, or run, and then start. Yeah, that's going to be a complicated one if I have to go this route. But I got the pigtail, so it's just a matter of just see if this thing's got information on it that's going to help me out. If it wasn't so dirty. Let's take and clean that up a little bit. I'm getting ready to turn this into a brand new plug. But bet y'all didn't know that, did you? Look like a brand new plug to you. Look how pretty that thing is. So let's see what this thing says. Oh yeah, it's got, alright, this is ground. And starter, S for starter, I guess, or solenoid. M for magneto, I guess, which is your keel. B for battery. Let's see if that red wire lands right there on that one. So the red one is the one that's going to power the switch from the battery. Well, we're going to tie off of this to the solenoid. The solid, which is power all the time. So we're just going to tie off of it. So we know where that one's going to go. Then you got green as your ground, so that will go to the body. Then you got red, which is I believe that's what is that? Damn, that thing's hard to get off. That is A1. Accessories. Alright, so that one's accessories. And this one is accessories 2. This one is your red and white wire. This one is L. That I think that goes to the solenoid on the carburetor. And then this one is the ground. This one goes to the starter solenoid to throw power to the starter. And then this one's your fuel. So that looks pretty simple. We hope. But I think there's really only 3 wires that you're going to need. You need the blue wire, I believe. Let's see, where's L? Yep. The blue wire goes to the alternator, or the stator, or no. No, the blue one goes to the carburetor solenoid. White should be magneto. And that's not. Let's see here. White is accessories 2. So which one is the kill? Yellow? Yeah, yellow goes to the coils. Huh. I thought that was white. So I guess the white is supposed to go to accessories 2, A2. So these two are A1 and A2. That makes no sense. I thought white was used for magneto. So that's what's making this a pain in the ass for me. I don't know what them 2 orange ones were. 2 orange ones is to the starter. But it's got 2 of them hooked to it. Why has it got 2 of them? I hate wiring, man. And I'm not in my right mind, frame of mind like I used to be when I was younger, man. I'm starting to, I can't see very well now, and I can't hold my attention very long. I get sidetracked too much. But I've got some of the plugs right here. We're probably going to have to hook up the PTO switch. It only needs 2 wires. A hot coming in, and when it goes on, hot going out to the clutch, or the PTO clutch. So I did a continuity test to try to find out which one of them two wires, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm almost certain that these are the wires without actually getting underneath there. It's going right to the clutch, or the PTO clutch. So I imagine this is the plug for that, but it's got two, is that blue or black? I'm getting close, so when I go to edit this video I can see that. But they're both the same color, so one should be negative and one should be positive, right? So if you touch the frame with your continuity tester and you touch one of these should have continuity, but it doesn't, neither one of them. So that's not a good sign. Now the guy said that the guy that had it did mow last summer with it, so it had to have worked. So I just must be doing something wrong. But thanks guys for hanging out with me today and letting me shoot the shit with you. I got too many projects is what's going on. I got a lot of things I got to get done. I got to finish making cocky knobs. And I've already knurled it and got it ready. So now I gotta finish them up. And then I gotta cut them to make them look like this right here. That's one of my blanks for my cocky knobs. Now this is one of them that you can actually use an O-ring in between those. If you decide to use a different color O-ring, you could put O-ring on there, but I don't sell O-rings. I sell cocky knobs. Then I got two blanks here. Oh, that one's a bushing. But I make my collets. That's my collet for those. When I go to put those in the chuck. This one's a little tight, but it slides on there and I can slide that clear up to the end and I can chamfer all that, drill them and tap them and stuff like that. So that's ready to go in the chuck and keeps it square. So this one, I had a problem with my knurler. One of the wheels had locked up on it. This one here, I freed it up, but it locked up tighter than a bull's ass during fly time. My buddy made that for me, guys. I had this. This was one of these, and I had him take and use these wheels to put on here. And then I had him cut that off right there so it could be used like this. So, but he did a pretty nice job on that, man. And it was working good, and then this wheel locked up and caused me all kinds of problems. So because that wheel locked up, I ended up having to turn that down, that much of it down off of there. And so now I got to make a new collet because this collet's too big for it. I don't know, it might tighten down on it. But I got a pretty good gap there. Yeah, I believe it'll tighten up on there. It might work for this, but then it'll resize it to this one. And then I'll have a hard time using this. I'll have to spread it back open and so I can use it on this one. But these are the standard size. So, but no one would ever notice that. No one would ever notice that it was, what, half a mil or a millimeter and a half, maybe a millimeter of material. If they do notice, they checking me out too damn good. But I got my shop in a mess. I had thought about using this wire harness here. This one's for Briggs and Stratton. But this is the one that takes the key you find in every drawer in some junk drawer in somebody's house. But look at all that. 3 wires runs your system. And because of them safety switches, it shouldn't be this big. All these wires would be gone. All these wires would be gone, and they all connect somehow or another through this whole harness. And I still haven't figured out how they do that, but this one has a 2-wire that goes to the alternator. Actually, there's 2 plugs there. So one of these is for the alternator, and I guess one's for the headlights. Yeah, this one's for the headlights. So, crazy ass shit they come up with. Well, I gotta take that, I need that solenoid. I'll leave that there. I'm done for the night. I'm toast, guys. My back is about had it. There it is. Got my mill cleaned up. Ain't she a pretty one? I had a problem though when I went to turn this on. You hear that? I'm hearing arcing in there. I don't like that. So I'm gonna have to investigate what the hell's going on underneath here. Something is sparking. So I need to take this plate off and find out what the hell's going on. So until I find out what the hell's going on, I think what I'm going to do is, which one am I unplugging? The big one. So, yeah, I'm going to unplug that, because when you hear a spark, you don't know what's going on underneath there. And if I walk out of this shop, I don't want something catching on fire. So we're going to find out what the hell's going on. But it sounds like it's coming from underneath here. But anyway, I made a long video out of this, didn't I? So tell me what you think, guys. You think I should part it out, or do you think I should fix it up? It's worth it either way, I'm sure. I gotta straighten the battery box up. How they got that thing bent like that is beyond me. That's crazy. That'll look like a brand new one when I'm done with it. Stick that in the sandblaster. Hell, I might even make a new one. I might just make one out of aluminum if I fix it up for myself. So, thanks for hanging out, guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.